All right, so you're prepping for a performance hairdresser interview. Pretty exciting, huh? We've got some RoleCatcher resources to help you totally nail it.
It's way more than just, like braiding or an updo. They want to see if you can handle the crazy demands of a live performance.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Working with wigs and crazy hair pieces and all those super quick changes, it's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're some kind of hair magician, part artist, part problem
I
solver.
love that. So let's jump into those tricky interview questions. I feel like everyone gets nervous with those.
Definitely.
We'll start with a pretty common one. Walk us through your experience creating hairstyles for different hair types and textures.
Oh, that's a good one. And they really want specifics here. So instead of just saying, oh, yeah, I've worked with all kinds of hair, think about an actual time you had to like change your technique for a certain hair type.
That makes sense. I could see how that would make a difference.
Yeah, so maybe you had to create a super sleek updo for someone with really fine hair, or like a complex braid for someone with really tight coils.
Ooh, that's a good point. Those details definitely make you stand out.
For sure. And speaking of standing out, RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze job descriptions and highlight keywords related to specific hair types.
Wait, really? So it's like it can tell you what kind of hair they're looking for.
Exactly. So if they emphasize experience with wigs, to focus on your wig styling skills.
Wow, that's super helpful. It's like having a secret decoder for job descriptions.
Totally.
Okay, so next question. How do you stay up to date with the latest hair trends?
This is your chance to show how passionate you are and that you're always learning. Don't just say you read magazines.
Right, like be more specific.
Yeah, mention like specific publications like Modern Salon or influencers you follow or even YouTube channels for new
I
techniques.
love that. It shows you're actually curious and want to keep growing as a performance hairdresser.
Exactly. And Rollcatcher's AI can even help you figure out which industry keywords to use in your answers.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. All right, so here's one that I feel like a lot of people get tripped up on. Can you describe a time when you had to handle a difficult client?
Ugh, yeah. Everyone has these stories. Just pick one that shows your professionalism and how you solved a problem.
Right, so it's not about complaining about a bad client.
Yeah, it's about navigating the situation.
Yeah.
Did you actually listen to their concerns? Did you offer other solutions?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
So it's all about how you got to a good outcome.
exactly. And be ready for a follow-up question like, how do you make sure you're providing excellent customer service?
So that's where you can talk about clear communication and like really listening to the client and maybe even going above and beyond.
Exactly. And remember, Rollcatcher's interview guides have tons of sample responses for all these kinds of questions. You can use them as a starting point and then make them your own.
Okay, let's tackle another one. Can you describe a time when you had to work under pressure to meet a deadline?
Ah, the pressure cooker classic.
Right. Every performance hairdresser has been there at some point.
Think of a time you had to create a bunch of hairstyles for a big cast on a really tight schedule.
Oh, or like maybe a wig malfunctioned right before a curtain call.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. How did you stay organized and manage your time but still create amazing looks?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's also good to talk about what you learned from that experience.
For sure. Did it teach you about planning ahead or communicating better with the team or even having a backup wig just in case?
Those are all such good points. Showing that you can learn from tough situations is so valuable.
Definitely. Speaking of valuable skills, the career guide actually talks about how the job outlook for performance hairdressers is looking pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, the demand for skilled professionals who can work with wigs and handle the pressure is expected to grow.
That's amazing news for anyone getting into this field.
It is, but it also means there's going to be more competition. That's where RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful.
Right. It helps you stand out by tailoring your resume and skills to what employers are actually looking for.
Think of it as a secret weapon to help you get ahead.
I like that. Okay, back to those interview questions. What about feedback? How do you handle feedback or criticism from clients?
This one is all about being professional and showing you're willing to learn.
Right. So you want to emphasize that you see feedback as a way to grow.
Yeah, instead of getting defensive, talk about how you really listen to feedback, even if it's not positive.
And maybe even mention a time you got constructive criticism and how you used it to get better.
Exactly. And here's a tip from RoleCatcher's interview guides. Frame your answer around the idea of always improving Hurlo. Employers love to see that.
Great advice. Okay, let's move on to a question that comes up a lot in creative fields. Can you describe a time when you had to work with a difficult coworker or team member?
Ooh, yeah, this is where you want to show that you can handle conflict professionally and work as a team.
Right. So pick a specific situation, but remember the focus shouldn't be on how bad the coworker was.
It's about your actions and how you helped create a positive team environment.
So instead of saying, ugh, they were a nightmare, explain how you communicated well and found common ground and worked together to reach a goal.
Exactly. And if you're having trouble coming up with an example, RoleCatcher's AI can help you find scenarios from your past that might fit.
Oh, wow, that's so helpful. Okay, now for one that really tests your ability to think on your feet, can you describe a time when you had to handle a hair emergency or unexpected situation?
Oh, yeah. Those backstage mishaps can be crazy.
For sure, every performance has its surprises.
Maybe a wig malfunction right before curtain call, or someone's hair reacted badly to a product. How did you stay calm and find a quick solution?
That's where your creativity and problem-solving skills really come in handy.
And don't forget to mention how you stayed calm under pressure. That's a must-have for any performance hairdresser.
Absolutely. And if you need help crafting your answer, RoleCatcher's AI can analyze the job description and suggest relevant skills to highlight, like being adaptable and resourceful.
Totally. Okay, last question for now. Can you describe your experience with hair extensions or wig styling?
Ooh, this is a big one.
Be ready to give specifics here. What types of wigs have you worked with? What techniques are you best at?
And don't forget any special training or certifications you have. The more details you give, the better.
Right. And this is where RoleCatcher's career guide can be really useful. It has a whole overview of wig making and maintenance techniques, which
Yeah.
is a great refresher before your interview.
That's a good point. We've covered a lot of ground with these questions, but I think we've got more to talk about. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back to discuss different career stages you can expect in this field.
Sounds good.
See you in a bit. All right, so we've talked about some of those tough interview questions. Now let's kind of switch gears and talk about what a career as a performance hairdresser actually looks like.
Yeah, for sure. RoleCatcher's career guide breaks it all down from like assistant all the way to head performance hairdresser. It's pretty cool.
Ooh, that's awesome. So you can really see where you fit in and what you're aiming for.
Yeah. Exactly. And that can help you tailor your interview answers too, so you're showing them you're ready for the next step.
I love that. It's like a roadmap for your career.
Hmm.
So let's start at the very beginning, the assistant hairdresser. What can someone expect in that role?
Think of it like an apprenticeship. You're learning the ropes from the pros, getting hands-on experience with everything. Wigs Quick changes the whole shebang.
That makes sense. So it's a great way to build a solid foundation.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And soak up all that knowledge from the more experienced stylists.
Okay, so what happens after that?
So once you get some experience under your belt and feel more confident, you'll probably move up to junior performance hairdresser.
Ooh, okay, so what kinds of things do you do as a junior?
Well, this is where you start taking on more responsibility, actually styling, maintaining wigs, even coming up with new ideas.
So it's a good mix of technical skills and being creative.
Exactly. And strong communication is super important at this stage, too. You're going to be talking to performers more, understanding what they need, and working together to get the right look.
Oh yeah, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Totally. And speaking of teamwork, remember how we talked about RoleCatcher's AI? It can analyze those job descriptions and point out keywords about teamwork and communication.
Right. So if you're going for a junior performance hairdresser role, make sure you use those keywords when you're talking to them.
Exactly. It shows you're paying attention to what they're really looking for. Now, as you get even better at your craft and, start showing some leadership skills, you might move up to senior performance hairdresser.
Okay, so what does that involve?
Well, you start leading a team, you're overseeing the hair for whole productions, making big decisions about hairstyles, wigs, the whole hair design, basically.
Wow, so it's not just about styling hair anymore. It's like you're a manager too.
Exactly. You're managing people budgets the whole 9 yards, and you're really shaping the artistic vision of the show.
That's so cool. So if someone is really aiming for that level, what should they focus on in their interview?
Definitely highlight your leadership experience. Talk about times you've managed teams, delegated tasks, or took charge to solve problems.
Right. Show them you can handle the responsibility.
Exactly. And guess what? RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you identify those key leadership moments from your past, even if they weren't in a theater setting.
Whoa, that's amazing. It's like having a career coach right in your pocket.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we get to the top of the mountain, the head performance hairdresser.
The ultimate hair boss.
Right.
So what's it like being the head honcho?
It's a pretty high-level position. You need vision expertise, and you got to be an amazing leader. You're in charge of the whole hair department, working with directors, costume designers, and of course, the performers.
Wow, that's a lot on your plate.
It is. You're setting the bar for everyone, researching new techniques, managing budgets, mentoring the new generation of hairdressers. It's tough, but it's super rewarding.
So if someone's dreaming of reaching that level, what should they be highlighting in their interview?
Definitely showcase your leadership, your strategic thinking, how you handle big projects, and your deep understanding of the performing arts world.
Makes sense. And I bet RoleCatcher's AI can help you find accomplishments from your past that prove you have those skills, even if they weren't specifically in theater.
Absolutely. It's all about showing them how your experience translates to this specific role. Okay, so we've talked about the different career stages, but remember that positive employment outlook we mentioned?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The career guide says the demand for performance hairdressers is expected to grow, so that's great news.
That's awesome, but it also means more competition.
Right, exactly. And that's where RoleCatcher's AI can really make a difference.
Right. It's not just about having a great resume and answering questions. Well, it's about using AI to show off your strengths, tailor your application, and stand out from the crowd.
Exactly. It's like having a secret weapon to help you get the job.
Okay, so we've covered the career path and how RoleCatcher can give you an edge. Now let's get back to interview prep and dive deeper into those questions.
Sounds good. Are you ready for round 2?
Bring it on. I'm feeling way more confident already.
Yeah.
All right, so we've prepped for those tough questions and kind of mapped out the career path. But what about that extra something that makes you really stand out?
I think you can think of it like your personal brand as a performance hairdresser. What makes you the one they can't say no to?
Yeah, it's like that special sparkle that makes your work unforgettable.
Right.
Maybe it's that you're amazing at turning a director's vision into reality with hair. Or, you're the one who can calm everyone down backstage with a quick joke and a bobby pin.
Yeah, exactly. And remember that portfolio we talked about?
Oh, yeah.
It's more than just pictures. It's a chance to tell your story as a performance hairdresser.
I love that. So
Yeah.
show them how versatile you are.
Yeah.
Did you work on period pieces? Avant-garde stuff? Highlight it all. Let them see all the different things you can do.
And if you've won any awards, definitely include those.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. It's like having amazing reviews for your work.
Instant credibility.
And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your portfolio to each specific job.
Oh, yeah. It's like having a personal stylist for your career, making sure everything looks perfect.
Okay, so let's talk about the actual interview.
Yeah.
Not just the answers, but like how you present yourself.
Right.
Confidence is key. Even if you're nervous, you got to project that calm and collected vibe.
It's like stepping onto a stage. Own it. Make eye contact, sit up straight, speak clearly, and let that passion shine through.
And this is where RoleCatcher's video feedback is so helpful.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You can practice, get feedback on your body language, and really refine your delivery.
It's like a dress rehearsal for the real deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't forget to come prepared with some good questions for them.
Yeah, it shows you're really interested and you've been thinking about the opportunity.
So ask about the company culture, the team dynamic, any upcoming productions, that kind of thing.
Exactly. It shows you're thinking ahead.
And here's a pro tip. When you're wrapping up, reiterate how excited you are about the role in the company.
Oh, yeah.
Good one. You can say something like, I'm really excited about this opportunity, and I truly believe my skills would be a great asset to your team.
Perfect. It leaves a strong impression.
And don't forget that thank you note afterwards.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference.
For sure. So you're not walking into that interview unprepared. You've got the knowledge, the tools, and the confidence to really shine.
You understand the role, you've practiced those tough questions, and you're ready to show off what makes you special.
And here's a final thought. What's that one skill or experience that really sets you apart from everyone else?
That's something to think about as you walk into that interview room. Good luck out there.
You got this.